Hi, Attorney Robert Russo here today, and we're here to talk about a topic pertaining to car accidents. If you've ever been involved in a car accident, which in most of our lifetime we will be involved in some type of accident or incident with a vehicle, there's things you need to know. First of all, if you get in a car accident, immediately call the police. And once you do that, take pictures. Very important, you need to take pictures of the accident, the location of the cars at the time of the collision as quick as possible. That's usually not what you think of first, but that's very important because that preserves a lot of evidence, and 8 out of 10 times it resolves the issue of liability. When one side claims they weren't wrong and you claim you weren't wrong, the pictures will define who is right and who is wrong. You don't always think of that because when you get in an accident, you're worried, you're nervous, you're injured. But it's very important to get photographs because it will decide the liability of the claim a lot more than sometimes the police report will, because most times the police reports are not clear as to who was at fault. And the police will say, leave it up to the insurance companies, which is where the problems begin. So that's step number one. Photograph evidence, get witnesses. If there are people in the area, get witnesses. If there are video cameras in the area, look in the area, see if there are any video cameras around so we can secure the videos of how the accident happened. Once all that's done, once the police arrive and you give your statements, obviously you have to determine if you're injured, you need to either go on a rescue, and realize if you go on a rescue, your car will get towed and you're going to have to deal with the car being towed. But if you're injured, of course, you go right to the hospital, get checked out, get x-rays, CAT scans, MRIs, whatever you need to determine the extent of your injury. And then obviously you're going to go home after that, and then at some point you're going to have to determine whether your injuries are healed and fine, everything's good, or if you still have lingering injuries and you feel you need to have care, you're going to have to follow up with a chiropractor or orthopedic or neurologist or any professional who you feel has to deal with your injuries. Consulting an attorney, very important. You have to preserve evidence, you have to get witnesses, you have to put things together, you have to negotiate with the insurance companies, you have to get your car fixed, get you in a rental car. There's a lot of steps that have to be taken, and I like to get on them right away, because the sooner you get on things, the fresher it is. The sooner you get on them, the quicker your car will be resolved. You'll be in your car again once it's fixed, or if it's totaled, you'll get the value to go buy another car. Meanwhile, the insurance companies may try and speak to you. I don't advise that. I advise you to go everything through your attorney. Have your attorney present with you. You never give a statement until you have the police report, and you're with your attorney prior to giving the statement. You can go over the facts and how the things happened and what to expect in the questioning, and that's what the attorney is for. They can guide you through that every step of the way. Very important. Your treatment, that's between you and your medical provider. They will determine what your injury is, and they'll give you a course of treatment. It's very important to follow the doctor's orders, because if you don't follow the doctor's orders, the insurance company will hold that against you, because they'll say you're prolonging your injury because you're not getting the treatment, and that you don't want that to happen. So if the doctor gives you a treatment regimen, and make sure you follow it. Get better as soon as you can. If you miss time out of work, in Rhode Island we have temporary disability. So if you work for a Rhode Island employer, you're entitled to TDI, that's commonly known, temporary disability insurance, where the state of Rhode Island will pay a percentage of your pay until the doctor determines you're able to go back to work. That's very important for people who need to pay their bills. And you have to get on that right away. It's through online processing, and that's once the doctor says you're unable to work and you can't work, you have to file that, because there is a timeline before you get your benefits. Next step, obviously, is to communicate with your lawyer. Anyone calls you, contacts you, you always stay in communication with your attorney. Very important. And then at some point, your doctor will discharge you, and your attorney will obtain all your medical records, evaluate your claim. Anytime you missed out of work, you're entitled to get that paid, and present a demand for settlement, and then negotiations begin.